The final 30 seconds before you close your front door can shape the next 8 hours of your cat's life. In that half minute, most owners accidentally turn an ordinary departure into an alarm signal. Music, you think you are being kind. You say goodbye, offer one final stroke and promise you will be back soon. But your cat does not understand the promise. They understand your tension, your hesitation, the emotional charge in your voice. And if that is the last thing you leave behind, music, your cat may spend the next hours pacing, meowing, staring at the door, or waiting in a state of high alert. Music, not because they are dramatic, because their nervous system was never told that this was ordinary. Today, we are replacing the guilt with a simple 30-second exit routine designed to lower the emotional temperature before you leave. This is the biological exit, and once you understand it, leaving your cat alone will stop feeling like an event. 1. The 20-minute disconnect. The biggest mistake music humans make happens long before they reach for their keys. It is the guilt affection. You know you are leaving for work, so you spend your last 20 minutes actively engaging with your cat. You sit on the floor with them, you stroke them, you use a high-pitched emotional voice telling them you will be back soon and that they are a good boy or girl. From a human perspective, this is love. From a feline perspective, this is a massive spike in arousal. You are raising their heart rate, you are increasing their expectation of engagement. Music, you are bringing their energy to a peak. And then you walk out the door. You have essentially revved the engine of a car, put a brick on the accelerator, and jumped out of the moving vehicle. The golden rule of leaving a cat alone is this: your departure must be a non-event. 20 minutes before you leave, the interaction stops. You do not ignore them coldly, music, but you stop initiating contact. You move around the house calmly. You pack your bag, you put on your shoes, you allow their nervous system to baseline while you are still in the house. By the time you actually leave, music, they are already bored of watching you. 2. The olfactory override. This is the 30-second technique that changes everything. Cats do not perceive time by watching a clock. They perceive time through the decay of scent. Research conducted at the University of Bristol by John Bradshaw highlighted how deeply a cat's emotional state, music, is tethered to their olfactory environment. When you leave, your scent slowly dissipates from the air. As the concentration of your scent drops, the cat's anxiety often rises because the scent clock is telling them you have been gone for a long time. You can hack this system. 30 seconds before you leave, take an item of clothing you have worn recently, a t-shirt or a jumper that holds a dense concentration of your scent. Do not just throw it on their bed. Take it, hold it in your hands, and physically rub it gently over your cat's back and shoulders. And then place it in their sleeping area. You are doing 2 things here. First, you are grounding them with an incredibly dense, fresh deposit of your scent, which acts as a physiological anchor. Music. Second, you are confusing the scent clock. Because the scent on their bed is so concentrated, it decays much slower, tricking their brain into feeling like you have not been gone that long at all. 3. Activate the hunting brain. There is a biological truth about cats that every owner needs to understand. A cat cannot be in a state of hunting and a state of panic at the same time. They are neurologically incompatible. Panic triggers the sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight. Hunting triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, which induces calm, focus, music, and physical relaxation. As you are executing your 30-second departure, do not hand them a treat from your palm. That requires them to focus on you. Instead, music scatter a handful of high-value, strong-smelling treats across the floor, or hide them around a puzzle feeder. Do this without saying a word. The moment their nose goes down to the ground, their brain switches into seeking mode. The olfactory bulb lights up, cortisol levels drop, music and dopamine is released. By the time they have found the last piece of food, you are already gone. The transition from your presence to your absence happened while they were in a state of biological satisfaction, rather than a state of anticipation. 4. The neutral departure cue. Cats thrive on predictability. Music anxiety lives in the unknown. If you sneak out the back door while they are not looking, you are creating massive psychological damage. Sneaking out teaches a cat that you can vanish into thin air at any moment. This creates hypervigilance. They will stop sleeping deeply when you are home because they feel they must constantly monitor you to ensure you do not disappear again. You must tell them you are leaving, but you must tell them in a language that does not invite emotion. You need a departure cue, a single consistent phrase that you only use when you are walking out the door. Watch the house or be right back or I'm heading out. The words do not matter. Music, the delivery matters. It must be spoken in a completely flat, monotone, boring voice. No eye contact, music, no physical touch. You scatter the food, you say, watch the house, and you walk out. Over time, music, this phrase becomes a reliable predictor. It removes the uncertainty. They learn that this specific boring sound music means you are leaving, but more importantly, it means you always come back. 5. The silent return. This is the hardest rule for humans to follow, but it is the most critical. How you return to your cat completely dictates how they feel when you leave them next time. Imagine you come home after an 8-hour shift. You open the door, you drop your bags, you fall to your knees, and you throw a massive party. You think you are rewarding them for waiting, but what you have actually done is created a contrast. If your return is a level 10 emotional high, then by comparison, your absence feels like a punishment. You have taught them that being alone is miserable, and being with you is a state of euphoria. This contrast breeds severe separation anxiety. Music to fix how your cat feels when you leave. You must fix how you return. When you walk through the door, you must music be the most boring thing in the room. No eye contact, no talking, no touching. Take off your coat, put your keys away, walk to the kitchen. Wait for the cat to realize that your arrival is completely unremarkable. Once their forepaws are on the floor, music. Once their tail is doing a soft sway instead of a frantic flick, then and only then, you can calmly call them over and quietly pet them. Leaving a cat alone does not have to be an exercise in guilt. You project your human emotions onto them. You think they need a dramatic farewell. You think they need apologies. Music, they don't. They need leadership. They need predictability. They need you to set the emotional tone of the house before you walk out the door. The next time you leave, do not use your heart. Use their biology. Drop the music scent. Scatter the food. Give the cue and leave without looking back. If this changed the way you view your routine, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. We don't do basic pet advice music here. We translate the complex, silent language of your cat music, so you can finally understand what they actually need from you. Let me know in the comments what is the exact phrase you say to your cat before you leave the house. I read every single one.